Here's more of our exclusive with Johnny Corville, grandson of Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys drummer, Johnny Edwards Corville.
My grandfather told me quite a few stories about those days. They liked to party and have a good time. You know, they drank their whiskey and had their female friends, what have you. My grandfather told me a story that any of the band members, if it was their birthday, they would ride in Bob's limo. As a rule, the limo rode in front of the bus, which was Bob's. Bob rode in the limo, the band rode in the bus. If it was your birthday, he would give you the limo. And your choice of any female that you'd like, all the way to the next show, yay! So I'm like, how rock and roll is that? They were the original, that's the king of swing. They really, the Western swing, it wasn't really country music then, it was Western swing. So that stuff's really not around anymore, but he told me all kind of neat stories about Bob, the horses. They had a tour bus, like in the late 30s and early 40s. Nobody had a tour bus back then, you know. Bob was a little bit ahead of his time. The whole band was.
Now, friends, we're going to play you an old breakdown, the kind that you can just roll up the rug, move back the chairs, and turn on. You know, one of the old deep in the heart of Texas tunes. Here it is. Let's go, boys, a breakdown.
As I mentioned in the last segment, Johnny and his wife Christy are donating Johnny Edwards Corville's drum kit and photos to the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville.
Oh, Tommy.
So she made the phone call last week to the Country Music Hall of Fame Museum in Nashville, Tennessee, downtown. The big one, the real one.
Like Johnny Corville says, his grandfather must have been quite a character.
Yeah, this is the same kit as you see here with Bob Wills, Texas Playboys. It was my grandfather, Johnny Corville the First. He went by Johnny Edwards then because he was AWOL from the Navy. And nobody was supposed to know about it. So when he tried out for Bob, he said, look, man, I can't go by my name, Johnny Corville. I'm gonna have to go by, it was Edward John Corville. I'm the third, he was the first. So he changed it around and made it his stage name so that he couldn't be found. As you can see here, this is where he would lay his cigarette down on top of his bass drum, like during a drum solo or whatever. If these drums could talk, I'm sure you'd hear a lot of jazz, or maybe I should say swing. And as you can see, they're warped and they're old. But you know what? This was a company that eventually turned into Ludwig drums. So they're really, really quality. These were high-dollar drums back in the day. This is the actual foot pedal, the bass drum pedal. My gosh, I'm glad I don't have to play that. I love my DW pedals. But yeah, I've had these in my possession since 1990, and it's time for the world to see them and just appreciate what it was at one time, what they were at one time.
As we mentioned earlier, Johnny Corville Jr. is drummer for Image 6, a Beaumont-based rock band. And he's also worked with Black Oak, Arkansas. Check out this classic clip of Johnny's drum solo from a Black Oak, Arkansas gig back in 1995. Here's another Evadale Raceway fabulous flashback.
He's done it all, from honky tonks to the symphony halls.
And Bob Wills is a big influence on you, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You almost met the guy?
I did meet him.
We did meet him?
But I didn't get to talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He passed away.
He had a stroke. Well, he had a stroke and went into coma. I didn't cause it now. It was just...
That's the rumor.
Yeah. No, we were up there and met him, and he was old and sick and about to have a stroke.
King of the road.
That was this week's Evadale Raceway fabulous flashback. Be in Evadale, Texas on Saturday, October 28th for loads of family fun. It's the True No Prep event on the big end of the track with special guest Flagger from Street Outlaws New Orleans. Gates open at noon and the racing starts at 2 p.m. For complete details, visit evadaleRaceway.com or their Facebook page. See you at Evadale Raceway on Saturday, October 28th. Still to come, Brad Broussard will be in the Royal Spotlight. Sponsored by Ipes Trophy Fish and Ponds in Silsbee. But next, we'll air the Southeast Texas debut of Susie Oravec's new video as our King Motors music clip of the week.
King of the road.